So, good afternoon. I will be honest with you. You know, it usually takes a lot for me to come on, and I will tell you that I am operating in a level of righteous anger right now. But I feel like it would be a disservice to my community and a disservice to my own kiddos if I didn't speak out right now. I feel like we are in a crisis. Not that it just emerged, an emerging crisis that's going to continue to get worse. Unfortunately, I feel like for our community, too many of our kiddos are just dying in the streets, and we just don't seem to have the answers. And one thing about me is, if you know me, I have dedicated my life to supporting your kids, to supporting kids in general. My job has always been to work with in the mental health profession to help disadvantaged kiddos kind of reach those outcomes that we pray for, the outcomes that we desire for our kids. So, you know, my heart is in the right place. I would never be judgmental. I know that no one finds themselves in these type of situations intentionally. There's no intentionality to it. However, I do believe that there are some things that we have to begin to identify and understand that as a community, it is our problem and no one's going to solve our problem for us. So we have to just be really genuine and honest and understand that home is where our kiddos learn right from wrong. It's where they learn character and accountability. So that continues to be our job to support our kids in getting those tools, the tools that they need to be successful when they leave our home. And when I say that, when they're in the streets, when they're dealing with challenges, situations, how your child responds to the outside world has a whole lot to do with the tools that they're getting. Here is where we've got to let the pride go. We've got to stop, thinking that love is enough, because there are some certain things that we just don't have in our own toolbox to provide our own kiddos. It's definitely been a learning curve for myself and anyone else that has operated in the mental health field. You do know that there are a lot of things that we don't deal with in our community, such as trauma. Trauma is ongoing, it doesn't go anywhere. So, in one way, shape, or form, trauma is going to be, it's going to rear its head at some point. So, we think it's okay not to deal with certain things or our kiddos not to get certain tools, but the outcomes that we get are ones that we don't want. We don't want our kids' bloodshed in the streets. That is senseless. These kids have a future, bright futures, if we're willing to invest in our kiddos. So, there's some certain things that we just got to be honest about. I'm looking on Facebook all too often, and I see kids with guns and money and all of these things. What does that represent to you? That's not okay. We can't continue to watch our kids do things like that and then be in utter shock when we find out our kids have been involved in something that is not beneficial for their life or well-being. So we have to begin to identify some of these negative things, some of the negative things that we allow to continue to happen over and over, and think that there's going to be different outcomes. Again, I don't want to see this happen to your child or mine. I have spent more hours than I would like to admit crying over the loss of a child, where I feel like that if they would have had a certain level of tools or training, then maybe they would have found themselves in a different situation. I just want to make it very clear that we're going to have to come together as a community. We're going to have to figure out ways that we can support our kids in this fight, the fight for their life, because when they're encountering other individuals, there's way too much violence. I think our African American kids make up 48% of gun deaths. I think maybe that was a study maybe 2, 3 years ago, but regardless, we can't continue to find ourselves in this situation. We have got to do better. Please reach out. I would love to be a part of organizing some things or helping support families that feel like they need some additional support and getting their kiddos the tools that they need to support them and having different outcomes where it comes to violence. Yeah, let's do better, people.